Welcome inside Brentwood Area High School tonight on the OLSH Sports Network. Continuing coverage of Charger basketball as your Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Chargers take on the Brentwood Spartans. Welcome courtside, everyone, here on the OLSH Sports Network. Chargers and Spartans. I'm Matt Fargo, happy to bring you a doubleheader here on the OLSH Sports Network. We're on the boys' side tonight, and OLSH and Christian Harbaugh are over on the girls' side. So pull up an iPad, pull up an iPhone, pull up your laptop, and enjoy Charger basketball this Friday night. I'm joined by, normally, Charger Nation knows him as doing numbers in the classroom. He's going to break down some basketball tonight. Joining me, Zach Corsi in the broadcast, making his broadcast debut tonight. Welcome, Zach.
Thank you, Matt. I'm excited to try my hand at this.
Well, we're excited to listen to you do it. And you have a knack for basketball. You played basketball at Moon. They were pretty good back then from what I remember. And then you coached at Moon. So you have a unique side of – you've also seen the Chargers a lot this year at home, being able to be one of the game managers. So what have you seen from this Charger team? I'll throw it right to you. What have you seen from them that maybe they could build off of, because they are, for the third time this year, coming off a loss?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because I played with them in the summer as well, and I feel like losing the couple players they lost this year already is really limited their defensive options, right? They have to stay in a zone longer into games, I think, than they're comfortable with. And because if they play man, that'd be, the guys would be too worn out. They don't want to go too deep into their bench. So I think that is their biggest limiting factor against their better teams right now. But they have a good zone, obviously. It's what their normal defense they run, and it's successful, the vast majority of the time, as we see.
Yeah, you're talking about the Chargers and what they weren't able to do defensively against Keystone Oaks last week. And one of the other struggles was the 5 points they scored in the third quarter. That was really the struggle that set themselves back. They had a 10-point deficit going into the break and weren't able to dig themselves out of it. And from the offensive side of things, I think maybe taking a little bit more action inside and driving to the basket, something that's been an emphasis from Mike Rodriguez much of this season. And they continue to try to find their identity. It still seems like a team that maybe when you thought they found it, they haven't just yet. Absolutely.
I also, would like to see Dorian Tate get a little more aggressive on offense. He has a lot of skills, and I think he's a little bit too deferent to Rocco and Bryson, who are obviously their best players, and they're very skilled in their own right, but the defenses are keen on them, and I think he has a lot of opportunity, and he has the capability to fulfill that. He just needs to be a little more aggressive.
All right, when we come back, we will step aside. We'll let them play the national anthem. We'll come back with starting lineups. Chargers, Spartans coming up next on the OLSH Sports Network. Stick around. Tip-off moments away. National anthem here in Brentwood. Getting ready for the Spartans and the Chargers. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Chargers first. Mike Rodriguez leads and puts out on the floor the starting lineup. It is number 1, Rocco Spadafora. Number 3, Dorian Tate. Number 4, Darion Greer. Number 34, B.J. Vaughn. And a programming note, number 44 on your screen is now number 33, Bryson Kirshner. He decides midway through the season to switch it up, Zach. And I don't know, if clearly not superstitious in any way, he's going to wear a different number, 33 for Bryson tonight.
I've never heard of a player changing number midseason. I mean, it's rare to get a kid in high school to change a number even between years, let alone midseason. And we'll take a look at the Brentwood starting lineup. They'll put out on the floor a 5'10 sophomore guard, number 1, Forrest Betts. A 5'9 senior guard, number 4, Carter Betts. A 6'2 junior forward, number 11, Shane Palmer. A 6-foot junior guard, number 14, Aiden Gordon. And a 6'2 senior forward, number 23, Talon Kammermeyer. Dan Thayer is the head coach of the Spartans. They are a 4-win team coming into tonight, 4-11. They're 1-4 in the conference in Section 2 in Class 3A. And the Chargers now starting the second run through the section schedule. They opened up 3A play with the Spartans at home and now open up the second half of it, trying to bounce back after that loss KO and have to do it again on the road here tonight. I know that they had a pretty rough film session after that loss, so I think that I wouldn't be surprised if these guys come out pretty hot tonight, looking to erase the memory of that game.
Yeah, and I think playing the team that's in right now in the cellar of the conference might not be good news, but Spartans win it. We'll find out. That's why they play them underway here from Brentwood. Forrest Betts operates. Going away from us, as you can tell from the camera angle, we're going to be coming to you from that baseline. Fading away with it as Palmer doesn't go. Putback opportunity. That doesn't fall either. Ball's chased down by Kirshner and brings it up on the right-hand dribble. Far side, no-look pass to Vaughn. Lay it up, no good. Off a few hands, pulled down by Palmer. And a jump ball is called, and the arrow, if you weren't paying attention, now favors the Chargers after Brentwood won the opening tip.
Surprising to see OLSH come out in a man defense, probably response to last game, but clearly the stress from Coach Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's one of those things that for as long as he's been here, he doesn't love to play the man until it's absolutely necessary, as driving in there, coming up empty. Chargers missing some easy layups there. Darion Greer can't get it to go. Back up the floor come Kammermeyer and the Spartans. Far side Betts on the wing. Up top, Gordon moves it near side. Guarded by Vaughn, driving is Betts. Carter Betts throws one toward the basket, and it falls. Our first points of the game. 55 seconds into the ball game at 7:05.
That's a tough shot. You know, the shot by Darion that he missed, I mean, that's a shot he's got to take. He's going to make it later in the season. You get the misses out of the way now.
Tate hands it off to Greer inside, out of bounds off the Spartans. Chargers will keep possession of it. 6:53 to go opening quarter. Chargers still trying to find those first points. Near side wing, Rocco step inside the three-point arc, no good. Rebound off a few hands and out of bounds off the Chargers. Brentwood basketball.
It's a tough shot by Rocco. I'd like to see him work it inside a little more first. Don't need to settle for that.
Yeah, that was kind of the bugaboo of last week, was not the high percentage shots. Pass finally finds its intended receiver in Gordon, and now Carter Betts, the senior, operates. And I think the Spartans' idea here is they want to pretty go slow and steady here. They don't want to push the pace of this ball game.
Oh, absolutely. Played many of these games. You want to slow it down when you're against an opponent like OLSH.
Steal taken away by Kirshner. He's fouled on the floor. First foul of the ball game going to go against the junior Shane Palmer. Chargers will trigger it in here from the baseline. It's the junior Dorian Tate doing the honors. Up top to Vaughn, quickly moved inside now to Kirshner, who's fouled again. And this time it's Talon Kammermeyer picking up the foul. His first, the team's second quickly for the Spartans.
You know, it hasn't mattered yet, Matt, but it looks like Brad is a little bit more engaged than he was early in the season at this point. He's been leading the break twice already early in the game, which is a little rare for him, and I'm glad to see that because I think he's a really good player.
We were talking about that second gear that he has. Nice pass down low, finds Greer. Chargers tie things at 2.
Yeah, I say this to a lot of people when I'm talking about the team. I think Brad is such an unbelievably smart player with the basketball when he's fully engaged, when he's ready to go. You know what I mean?
Top of the key, Kammermeyer. Almost got his pocket picked there by Vaughn. Gordon bouncing it right side, Betts. Carter Betts guarded against Tate. He'll take it with the right hand. Not enough on it. Rebound pulled down by Kammermeyer and pulled back out by the Spartans. Fed back inside, left side of the lane, throwing up a shot that's no good by Palmer. Rebound, Rocco. Spatafora leads it ahead to Kirshner. Kirshner thought about the pass, just goes up for the shot, no good. Another attempted shot by Vaughn, and a nice job by the Spartans controlling the glass there. Gordon cleared it, led it ahead long and too far, taken away by the Chargers. Rocco was there, moved it back ahead to Vaughn. Vaughn cuts through the lane, hands it off to Kirshner. One dribble, blocked from behind. Nicely done by Kammermeyer. Out of bounds, keep it with the Chargers. 5:03, but like the aggressiveness from the Spartans here.
Absolutely, they came to play defense.
Inbound going to be triggered in by Tate. Up top, Rocco. Spatafora. The ones going against each other, and Betts gets a screen from Kirshner. Near side, it's Tate. 2-2. As outside to Vaughn now. Back inside Kirshner. Just didn't step inside the foul line. Can't get the mid-range shot to go. Fed back inside. Vaughn up strong. 2 for BJ.
Very strong finish there. Low-scoring game benefits Brentwood. So
no question.
Chargers need to pick it up.
Back up the floor, it's Betts. Far side wing, 3 on the way. Good. Drained by the sophomore. And they were killed by a sophomore last week against KO with the 3. And there's another one hitting it here that gives Brentwood their first lead of the ball game, or second lead of the ball game.
The transition defense, you know, you got to get back, got to find your man a little quicker. They're doing good in the half court, but there's another transition layup, Matt.
Yep, and this one, though, rolls out by Betts. Put back opportunity. Good by Shane Palmer. It's 7-4 Spartans. Under 4 to play in our opening quarter.
You think we're going to get a timeout here?
It's getting close to that point. I feel like if you come up empty on this trip and they get points on that one, you're going to see it happen. Kirshner at the elbow, little hesitation, and splashes in the mid-range.
Tough shot.
Kammermeyer up the floor for the Spartans. Guarded against Spatafora. Left side, Betts. Palmer bouncing it inside. Kammermeyer lost control of it. Rolls out of bounds off the Spartans. Charger basketball. First substitution of the ball game happening now as we get Greg Bernard coming in, and along with Rocco Coladinato.
And that was great help defense by Bryson that actually made that happen, and Darion dropping down to make that happen. I mean, I think, you know, last week they gave up a layup on that because that was a nice set by Brentwood, but OLSH reacted very nicely.
Ian Harrington, the junior who started the last time these two teams played, he enters the ball game now as the forward. They try to go a little bit bigger inside with Kammermeyer and Harrington inside. Here's Coladinato, banks open, 2. Fresh off the bench for Rocco.
Rocco to Rocco.
8-7, Charger advantage, pushed up the floor, Betts all the way, book him 2.
Transition defense, problem again. I mean, it's what, probably 7 of their 9 points in transition.
Fighter 3 on the way, in and out. Rebound cleared away by Kammermeyer. Escorted ahead to Betts. Betts runs the baseline and easily lays it in for 2 more.
I don't want to be boring, Matt, but transition defense again.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not broken, it is. Chargers need to fix it. Greer. Over to Coladinato. Minor travel. Quickly back into the game is Tate as B.J. Vaughn gets his first breather of the day. 2:09 to play in our first.
I mean, Greg, this is early in the rotation for Greg to be coming in, isn't it, Matt?
No question. Yeah, I mean, he did get some good minutes and logged good minutes against KO. But Chargers trying to go a little bit deeper into their bench earlier. Especially could have something to do with the man defense being played as bucket good by Kammermeyer.
It's a nice set now. Bryson's not there to help like he did on the last play, and that was the difference. It was the same exact set that we talked about 2 minutes ago.
Rocco offensive. Foul's going to go against the Chargers, and it went against Dorian Tate.
It's the downsides of this court angle. Matt, I couldn't really even see the play.
Yeah. Coming to you right where the camera angle is. That's where we're bringing you this one. So forgive us if we missed something tonight. Spoiled back at home.
Yeah.
Having and at KO, we were center court. They did a great job. Appreciate their hospitality. Ball out of bounds off of Tate. So Brentwood keeps it, has a lead, 13-8, 1:22 to play in our first quarter of action. Three on the way, airballed. Colorado was right place, right time. Pushed ahead to Tate. Tate lost control of the basketball, and it's almost ripped away. Jump ball that's called in the arrow to the Spartans.
I wonder how Brentwood prepared for them. It seems like their stress is certainly in transition. Transition offense and defense have been won widely by Brentwood. I mean, OLSH's points have been in the half-court offense, for what it's worth.
1:06 to go, first 13-8. Brentwood has controlled the pace of this game to this point. Carter Betts, left side, Colton Rosing into the game. He's also a sophomore. Betts over into the corner. Carter Betts pulls up, airballs it. Greg is there and gets it over to Rocco. Spatafora. Errant pass, take it away. Shane Palmer, the steal, led it ahead to Forrest Betts, and he lays it in for more transition points.
It's the theme of this quarter, no doubt about it.
Under 30 to play in the quarter. Hansen fresh into the ballgame for the Chargers. Skip pass to get it inside. Kirshner up strong and fouled. And Bryson Kirshner is headed to the line for the first time with 33 on his jersey.
You know, Matt, I mean, I got to say, we were pretty wrong here. They want to slow the game down. They're winning on a faster-paced game.
Yes.
This is the most surprising thing I've seen all season, honestly.
Kirshner misses his first. Or he did make it.
Soft rim. Yeah.
Makes his second. Kirshner's a 69% free throw shooter. He makes his 47th of the season. Back up the floor is Rosing. Far side operating Gordon, handed it off. Back up top, Betts. Skip pass inside, and it's intercepted. Pulling up at the buzzer. Good if it goes, and it does not. For Rocco Spatafora, the Brentwood Spartans have come to play here at home. 15-10. They lead it over the Chargers at the end of one. Zach Corsi, your thoughts of the first 8 minutes?
I'm surprised that Brentwood is playing so well in transition. But I'll tell you what, in the last minute here, I think this is the perfect game for Austin Hansen. He's a high-energy guy. We saw him make the great pass here into Bryson in the post. So I think that he's a guy who's probably going to end up playing a lot of minutes today and doing a really nice job, always makes the right pass. So, because we see these transition passes are a little bit errant by some of the players that end up, playing a little too fast.
Chargers find themselves trailing here after 8 minutes. And it just seems like everything's forced. The shots are forced, not high percentage shots have been taken. And I think the other surprising thing is Brentwood's really done a nice job controlling the paint.
Well, I was going to say Brentwood has multiple blocks inside, which is a little rare. We haven't really seen many of the, normally OLSH scores a lot of points, it seems like, on nice sets that get open layups, right? They create action through Spadafora and Kirshner to get Derry on uncontested layups. He has none today. They're doing a nice job of help. They're, collapsing well. So Brentwood clearly game planned well for this.
And, how much does it maybe play a part into Keystone Oaks kind of gave you a blueprint of how to beat the Chargers now. It's out there. There's three sets of tape. And now that it's in section as a foul is called fresh into this second quarter, how much does that play into it? There's tape out there now.
Oh, yeah, it's tough to see the same guys over and over, and a team, like OLSH. I think, the other thing was the first time Brentwood played them, they still hadn't lost in all those years. I think that now these teams aren't as intimidated as they once were coming in.
It humanizes OLSH a little bit.
Absolutely.
Spartans with a 5-point lead have the basketball. Betts, both of them. Now back inside, Kammermeyer, outside Gordon. Up top, Carter Betts. Cross-court pass that got knocked out of bounds by Bryson Kirshner. Keeps it with Brentwood, 7:22 to play second quarter.
Yeah, that's a great way to play help in high school. It doesn't work at the college and NBA level, but right here when you crash and run on one side, that's a pass no one's ever going to make in high school.
Inbound goes up top. Colton Rosing. Betts penetrates, throws one to the basket. Doesn't fall, and a foul going against the Chargers, and it looks like Hanson's going to pick this one up off the rebound.
Seemed like the Brentwood player did kind of get pushed out of position. Couldn't tell if it was him or called Donato, but not surprising.
Inbound, a tall one, but handled by Rosing. Betts operates to his left. Kammermeyer. Rosing and back to Betts. Thinking about pulling up there was Gordon, but he moved it back to his left and Rosing. Penetrating his bed, Carter Betts to the rack. Rocco Spadafora and Kammermeyer ended up tied up and on the ground. Hanson will check out, and Luca Grisafi will check in for the first time tonight.
He has been dominating JV all year.
He's going to be, I've talked about it. He just a sophomore, 6 foot, still room to grow, and he's going to be a fun player in years to come here.
His sister is unbelievably skilled as well, so good basketball family.
Yep. Timeout taken by Mike Rodriguez and the Chargers, and Mike Rodriguez not happy. A 7-point advantage for Brentwood, 6:33 to play here in the second. And, you were talking about how film session went, and I know how after the game went at Keystone Oaks as far as what the coach's perspective was. How much of this is execution? How much of this is between the ears right now?
It's a lot between the ears, Matt. There's no doubt about it. But, I think there's a huge element to playing on the road, too. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing have a little more struggles on the road in back-to-back games. We were successful at home, and it's a lot easier. You got the whole crowd and everything else going for you at home.
Mike Rodriguez burns that time out there to maybe refocus the guys.
Looks like Spadafora is okay, though, so that's good.
Yeah. Rocco in the backcourt. Grisafi quickly with it. Near side, Donato. Back up top, Luca. Eyes up a 3. Off the back iron, no good, but Donato chases down the rebound, and now Rocco has it. He thought about the pull-up 3, but Luca will pull up one more time. Just missed. That one rolls out. Ball off a few hands, and Rocco Spadafora recycles for 2. A hard-earned 2 for the Chargers.
Luca's got to keep shooting those, though. Those are shots he can and will make.
Force Betts back inside. More transition points for the Spartans. Bucket and the foul. Talon Kammermeyer.
It's a tough bucket. This team is a weird matchup, I think, for OLSH too, because it's a team of almost 4 guards, really, that they're playing. I mean, it's not a lot of big guys, so I think they have a little speed advantage.
Yeah, they list Palmer as a forward, but I mean he's only 6'2".
He plays quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean even Kammermeyer inside has an ability to be outside as well. I think a weird matchup is a great way of putting it, though. It definitely has created its challenges early in an 8-point deficit. Kirshner, a couple of bounces, spins through everyone, bucket, and the foul for Bryson.
I love when he does that. His spin move is certainly his go-to move, right? I mean, this is what we see over and over and over again. It works.
And as a defender, how do you stop that? Like, what's the best way of combating that move?
Well, look, especially when you got a guy like him with a size advantage, if you let him get there, you got to double. That's the only way to do it because he can fake the spin. He has too many options out of that with his size advantage.
Completes a 3-point play. Does Bryson back up the floor? Palmer. Betts with it. Carter Betts. And a steal taken away. Here's Tate. Tate leads it ahead to Rocco, who settles the ball down in transition, and he's headed to the line.
It's got to be a bounce pass, Matt. Yeah. Have we seen Bryson do the fake behind the back pass at all this year?
No. He actually just tried it earlier today, but he did do it successfully at Keystone Oaks.
Okay. He does that a lot in practice.
Yeah. He does like that.
It's a good move.
Yep.
But that's got to be a bounce pass from Tate. That's a bucket. He's not on the line, or he's and one if he gets a bounce pass.
Yep. It was a good job of Rocco settling that ball down because that had some heat on it.
Yeah, it's tough one to catch.
Chargers have cut the deficit to 5. Spatafora splashing in a couple there. And there's another steal. Here's Greer. Greer to Rocco, and another opportunity missed.
Another opportunity to throw a bounce pass.
I threw it up for you. Or maybe more adequately, I bounced it for you. But yeah, that's got to be frustrating then.
Well, Brentwood decided to return the favor here.
Yeah. Another one out of bounds. 5:06 to play, first half. Chargers trail it 20-16. Rocco from the backcourt. Spatafora to B.J. Vaughn. Vaughn looking like he was going to hand it off, and he does. Foul is called on the floor. No, he's going to say Rocco was on the way. Foul goes against Shane Palmer. And here's Rocco Spatafora at the line. Rocco, 80% free throw shooter coming into tonight, 33 of 41.
Missed the first one.
Can't call that an announcer's jinx after I said the percentage after.
Afterwards, right? It's not your fault.
Yep. Does hit the second. And then an errant pass there that Vaughn comes away with. Here comes BJ, and BJ is fouled.
Chargers have a different press on now, zone press here, and it seems like it is helping their transition defense. That's 2 turnovers in a row for Brentwood.
1-on-1 opportunity now for the Chargers. BJ Vaughn. Timeout Brentwood. They will take the timeout before the Spartans, or before BJ gets a chance at the line to cut this deficit to 1. And it's been a nice 2 minutes of Charger basketball here and creating the offense through the turnovers. They're kind of doing what Brentwood was doing to them early.
Yeah, they definitely adapted to the transition offense, put in that zone press, and they're getting some turnovers. And even if they don't get transition offense out of that turnover, they're good in the half court, right? They want to be in the half court, so it's fine for them.
4:46 to play here in the second. Chargers have the advantage, or Chargers trail 20-17, and this is doubleheader night here on the OLSH Sports Network. The girls in action right now at Winchester Thurston. OLSH Christian Harbaugh have the call from Pittsburgh's Shady Side neighborhood, so you can watch both, but mute them and listen to ours.
That's a non-section game, right?
It is. Yep.
Do we know how they're doing?
We will find out at halftime.
Okay.
Yeah, little segue there. Here's Vaughn at the line. BJ, 56% free throw shooter this season, and he rolls that one.
That's surprising. I think BJ's a pretty good shooter generally. I thought he'd be a little higher, at least in the 70s.
Chargers struggled at the line last week, too, against KO. I keep saying last week. That was Tuesday. My days are all messed
Feels
up.
like a month ago, though, Matt.
It does.
It's not your
It
fault.
really does. I can't believe this January's over. Deep already, January 20th. Chargers cut it to 1. Rosing, bouncing. Kammermeyer around the horn here for the Spartans, who have gone cold as of late, and they missed this layup thrown up by Betts, and Kirshner comes away with it, leads it ahead to Greer. Greer had to wait on it, and he'll go up strong, and it will be a charge. Well taken by the sophomore Colton Rosing.
Do we criticize the refs here, Matt?
You can.
He fell before Darion made contact. Now I'm not as big of an OLSH homer as a lot of broadcasters, but I thought that was a bit of a flop.
No flop morning in high school. 3 on the way, good. Rocco Spadafora. Spadafora hits his 38th 3 of the season to give the Chargers back the lead, 22-20. Left side, Rosing. Up top, Kammermeyer. Back to Rosing, the sophomore. Travel.
I don't know, Matt. Does Brentwood look nervous in the half court to you? I mean, it seems like these guys are just playing hot potato with the basketball.
Yeah, it seems like, other than that specific set you were talking about that they seemed very confident in running and have ran a few times, it does seem like they don't know where to go with it. And there's another charge taken. Forrest Betts takes the charge, and Dorian Tate going to get charged with the foul.
Surprising for him to get a charge of all people, but I think that one was a good call, to be honest. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Brentwood's action on the weak side here on offense. I mean, you guys are standing around doing nothing, waiting for someone with the ball to do something, and they're just throwing it around. I mean, they're playing right in OLSH's hands as far as OLSH's defense goes.
Rosing with it. Up top, Betts. Bouncing it inside, Kammermeyer, double team. Got it away, into the corner. Runs the baseline, floater on the way. Put back, Kammermeyer, good for 2.
Coach Rodriguez will not be happy about that closeout by Kirshner.
Ties things at 22, and a foul. This time it will go against the Spartans. The 3rd trip in a row that there's been a foul called down on this side of the floor, but the first time of those 3, it's gone against the Charger. It's gone against the Spartans, rather. Vaughn back to the line here.
OLSH being aggressive on offense is, especially in the paint. I think they need to do it. I think they didn't have success early in the game, but they have a size advantage. They need to keep pressing down there,
There's jump ball called, and Kammermeyer ended up at the bottom of the pile. Didn't have the arrow, however. Spartans have the arrow. 2:48 to play in the first half. Brentwood and OLSH tied at 22.
What, OLSH scored, 68 or 69 last game?
Yeah.
So, low scoring for them.
Yeah. Driving. And intercepted there. Spadafora took it right away. Vaughn bounced past Spadafora, had to save it, but he ends up saving it to Brentwood. Colton Rosing gets the steal, but then it's given right back to Rocco. Spadafora with it. Rocco to Kirshner. Kirshner at the foul line, moved it back outside. Tate and now to Spadafora. 2:15 to play in the first half. Rocco guarded by Betts. Hands it off to Kirshner. Bryson's been playing up top a bunch tonight. Hands it off in the right side of the lane. Vaughn up and foul. BJ back to the line.
I'm going to be shocked if they don't do a ton of transition work tomorrow at practice. I mean, that's another bad pass in transition. That's the 3rd or 4th one we've seen by various players.
Yes.
They take Saturday off a lot of weeks, don't they? They practice
I
Sunday.
believe so,
Yeah, they like to practice Sunday. So maybe not tomorrow, but Sunday for sure.
Yeah. Vaughn hits his first. Rolls out his second. Chargers have a 1-point advantage. Betts brings it up the floor. Left side, Rosen. And now Carter Betts. He'll pull up. Bounces off the rim, no good. Greer the rebound, up with the right hand. Greer through everybody, hands it off Minor. Now to Kirster. Down low. Vaughn off the window. Betts up the floor. Carter Betts loves that layup, but this time it hits the side of the backboard. Back come the Chargers. Greer with it. Greer to lay it up and score. 27-22. Chargers have expanded the lead.
And this press seems to be throwing this Brentwood team off. I mean, as soon as they went to it, it's been a, what is it, 10-point swing now?
Yep. Through everyone, bucket, and the foul for Forrest Betts. The sophomore will go to the line.
A little bit of laziness there, it seemed like, by OLSH not sliding over to help. That was not, that's exactly how that press is going to go. Like, you're looking to get to the middle, that guy's obviously going to cut down. I mean, this is textbook stuff. That guy's got to slide over. They didn't have anybody on the other side.
The sophomore Betts to the line. Misses. A loose rebound, and Kammermeyer comes away with it. Moved it outside to Forrest Betts for three. Air ball. Minor the rebound. And then he lost it. And the jump ball favors the Chargers. Arrow pointing that direction with 58 seconds to go in the half.
It's the second time in the last, 2 or 3 minutes here we had a closeout with a guy jump past the shooter on a pump fake. That's also going to be a point of emphasis at practice on Sunday, Matt.
Yeah. It's like breaking down coach film as the game goes on.
Well, when you do it for so long, you can't turn it off, Matt.
Rocco, 45 to play. Greer, Miter. Bouncing. Zug into the game for the Chargers. Garrett Zug. Only two starters out there on the floor right now for the Chargers in these final waning seconds. All tipped out of bounds by Kammermeyer. Keep it with 21 ticks to go here in the first half. Zug and Rocco down. Round the horn, Caladonata. Minor, Greer. Greer traveled with 7 seconds to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Darion adds a lot to this team, but that's just not an area of the court that he's going to – you're not putting him in the best position, him catching the ball at 16, right?
Yeah.
But with this current lineup –
yeah, it's a –
this is the weird part.
Yeah. Up the floor, it's Betts. Carter, 3 on the way. Gordon Rosing. Aiden Gordon, I beg your pardon, hits the 3. And it's tied at 27 going to the break. Spartans and Chargers tied. We'll catch our breath when we come back. First half recap. Zach Corsi breaks down the first half as he has all 16 minutes to this point. We'll get his thoughts and his thoughts of what he would make the adjustments at halftime. Taking a break, coming back with you. You're watching live coverage of Charger basketball, and it's right here on the OLSH Sports Network. Stick around. Welcome back to Brentwood. Halftime here, home of the Spartans. And right now, 27-27, all knotted up at the break. Zach Corsi making his broadcast debut. Now makes his halftime show debut and breaking down what, as we're going to take a look at some highlights throughout this first half, your synopsis of what was what has to be a very frustrated Charger locker room right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing probably this game is they're not used to playing this man defense that they're playing, and you can see that their help rotations are a little off. And this Brentwood team, like we talked about a little bit before, is a lot of guards. So some of our guys, I think, are struggling to stay in front of them in a man style when they're used to not having to play like that and sit down and watch the waist, and they play in a zone. And I think that it's just a point of emphasis right now for this team, and they know that they're going to have that man defense in the playoffs. So they're going to stress it right now, and they're going to probably take a couple lumps while they learn along the way, because this isn't the same team with the offensive firepower to get away with giving up buckets and answering on the other end the way that this team has been for the last few years.
Before we take a look at the scoring, we'll give you an update on the girls' game. Girls in well control of their game. Non-section against Winchester Thurston, leading 32-14 in the second. Right now, they'd be beating both of these teams right now with the offense. And that doesn't make any sense because Dawn's teams are more defensive focused. And not really everything must be falling for the girls right now. 32 points still in the first half. Yeah,
it's surprisingly high scoring. However, they have some players they run that trapping defense, and they can get out on and just get breakout layups one after the other if that team is not prepared and they don't have guards with a good enough handle to deal with those traps that team's going to throw at them.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the scoring. We'll start for the Chargers. Rocco Spatafor, 7 points, along with, how about this, B.J. Vaughn, 7 points, Bryson Kirshner, 7 points. The only one that has fouls that I alluded to there is B.J. Vaughn, who has 2 fouls. Rocco Colanado has 2 points. Darion Greer has 4 points and 1 foul. Dorian Tate, 2 fouls, and along with Rocco, Austin Hansen has 2 fouls as well. For Brentwood, leading the way for their scoring is Forrest Betts with 9 points. And then the rest of them chipping in here. 6 points for Carter Betts, 3 points for Aiden Gordon, which came on the final shot there of the first half. 2 points for Shane Palmer. But there are some foul things to keep an eye out here. Carter Betts, Shane Palmer, Aiden Gordon all have 2 fouls. And Talon Kammermeyer has 1 foul and 7 points. So he's second in scoring for the Spartans, who have just been able to find it. We're talking thanks to Jamie Usual for tracking down those numbers. But we're talking to him, and he mentioned that a lot of these Brentwood players played in the game, in the JV game, because there's a lot of youthfulness. I mean, Forrest Betts, a sophomore. We saw a lot of Colton Rosing, who's also a sophomore. Palmer, who's a junior. Aiden Gordon, who's a junior. And Harrington, who's a junior. So, I mean, you're getting a mix of some juniors and some sophomores mixed in with Carter Betts, who's the senior, along with Talon Kammermeyer. But the youthfulness of this Brentwood team has provided a spark for them in the first half.
They're certainly playing hard, and that transition offense early was really catching OLSH off guard. They're not used to getting back and having to find man, right? They're used to getting back and sitting in the zone. So I think it's just a transition period for this team and their defensive way they're playing. However, I do want to stress that this foul troubles that the Brentwood's having is not an accident. OLSH got really aggressive in that last probably three and a half minutes there. They generated those fouls, and I think that if they keep that up, that's going to be an issue for Brentwood going forward. They're going to pull guys out of the game.
And do you expect that to be the MO here coming out of the third quarter? Al and I and Christian all talk about it, and it's been an MO for Mike Rodriguez coach teams for a long time now. The third quarter is when the pressure gets turned up and the heat gets turned on, and with a tie ball game, that needs to be the case, but it normally is against with Mike Rodriguez in the locker room.
Absolutely, and I think that we haven't seen. This is like a game where I think we've seen like more lineups than most other games we've done. I mean, we got a lot of guys playing a lot of minutes here that aren't just starters to get the starters back in. They're fresh. They're ready to go. They bring the pressure. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them back on the free throw line. Now, how they perform elsewhere, we'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them back on the line.
Chargers are in the driver's seat in terms of the section. As of right now, they're the only team with one loss. Everybody has at least two. But a loss here would be catastrophic in terms of knowing that you have the rest of the section scheduled to play. And certainly Brentwood, with their one win in the first round of the section opponents, they know that they're already in desperation mode if they want to punch their ticket into the postseason. And this would be a long way of doing so. So tie ball game, and we got 16 more minutes.
And they still got to play some of their better opponents on the road. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, going to Steel Valley, going to Seton LaSalle could be a bigger challenge than playing them at home.
Yeah, that's a good point. Underway with Brentwood. Starting things off, a kick ball. Spartans will redo things here.
Looks like the Chargers may have had enough of this man. They're in their typical zone now.
And the starting lineup for the Chargers is out there. Starting lineup for the Spartans is out there. Brentwood going around the perimeter here and driving now. Betts handing it off. Kammermeyer outside, three on the way. Gordon, who hit that buzzer beater, didn't get it to go. Got the rebound though. Double teamed, take it away. Rocco Spatafor, relentless. And active hands moves it up the floor with the left hand. Far side wing, it's Vaughn. BJ. Crossover move. Fed down low. Missing the layup is Greer. Ripped away by Brentwood. Shane Palmer.
What a great pass. Darion honestly even could have went up right-handed there. He was entirely uncontested.
That was a great drop-off and just couldn't finish. Betts circles. Driving now is Carter Betts down to the baseline. Thought he might have stepped out on the line there, but up and fouled is Shane Palmer. Bryson's talking to the official, confirming whether or not that happened or not.
He loves to talk to officials. Sorry.
No, my favorite one is Bryson was getting yelled at by Coach Rod last year. Bryson, come here. And he turned around and he said, hold on, I'm talking to the official.
That's unbelievable. I can't imagine doing that to your coach. Like telling my coach, I can't imagine. Now, Brentwood's guys, they didn't come out much. We talk about OLSH sort of rotating through lineups. I wouldn't be surprised if they get tired, or especially, maybe they'll be all right now. Early in the fourth, I think we're going to see a drop-off from that team.
Brentwood back in front with a 1-point advantage. They get one at the line, and nice move there by Tate, but can't finish the layup. Put back, couldn't go, but a foul for Bryson Kirshner. Bryson will go to the charity stripe.
I feel like they're so far away now.
It is.
Like, when they were down here, it was nice.
Missing the first is Bryson. Chargers struggled at the free throw line on Tuesday, and seeing more of it tonight. 1 for 2 there for Bryson. They're tied at 28. A lot of pressure in the backcourt here. Finally figuring things out as Betts to Palmer. Now Kammermeyer. Betts on a right-handed dribble. Here's side Carter Betts. 2 minutes gone by here in the third. Still tied this time at 28. Palmer up top, Carter Betts. Shane Palmer with it. Driving right side, kick out, moved it to Forrest Betts. Forrest back to Carter. Carter drives, layup missed, rebound and a jump ball. And the arrow goes to the Chargers. That was a little bit early on that call.
Yeah, that was a quick jump ball. Look, defensively, we need to stop leaving our feet on these pump fakes. I mean, this is getting out of control. That should have been 2 points for them after a really nice, patient offensive set.
Jump ball arrow to the Chargers. Here's spat of 4, handing it off to Curson. Bryson backing down, goes up. Not enough on it. Rebound pulled down. Greer moved outside. Tate hands it off to Rocco. Rocco got the ball tipped into the air, blocked by Betts. Forrest bouncing, intercepted Rocco, and he traveled, is shuffling the feet. And Brentwood will get the ball back.
Tough call, but great hustle by him after that missed shot. I saw he was clearly annoyed he got blocked, and you saw him really, push to get back on time.
He arrived on it, but shuffled that extra step there.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate how you catch the ball sometimes.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Pushed up the floor now. Chargers lose control of it. Take it away, Rosing. Rosing hands it off to Forrest Betts. Betts runs the baseline and loses it out of bounds back to the Chargers. Nobody wants the basketball right now.
Just tripped. Although, I'll tell you what, he's a sophomore. He's going to be a good player.
Yep. His team, I mean, between Forrest and Colton and Aiden Barker, Palmer next year.
Yeah, a lot of the really, really good teams, they struggle, but you see, like, when they're older, they took their lumps as sophomores and juniors.
Yep.
The Moon team that won the state did that.
Bucket in the foul on the other end. Dorian Greer earns a trip to the line to try to complete a three-point play.
That's a real nice set for them. That's a normal set. He normally gets 3 or 4 of those a game. It's good to see them go back to that now. And he's such a strong player. For him to get and ones is pretty normal occurrence as well.
Rims out, rebound, Spartans. Forrest Betts has been everywhere for the Spartans tonight. Carter Betts operates on a right-handed dribble. Moves it near side, Forrest. And Carter play catch. Down low, Kammermeyer straight to the rack, empty, and a foul late. Very late. Going against Greer. And it's a shooting foul. Are you what?
Wow, that
Oh
was.
my goodness.
I mean,
that's bad.
He had time to shoot it, look at the referee, complain, and then the referee called?
Go to sheets, grab something, come back. My goodness. And sometimes I get officials. I don't blame them. I mean, maybe it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Some officials do wait to see if something rolls in to call a foul or not, but that one was a long time.
That was long. Although in an unsurprising turn of events, Matt, Bryson's talking to the official.
And he goes 0 for 2 at the line. So a ball don't lie situation there as Kirshner goes through the rack and a blocking foul is called. 2 shots coming for Bryson on the other end.
This team is dedicated to taking charges. I mean, obviously blocking foul here, but he tried to take a charge and he was very close to getting it.
Chargers with a 2-point lead, trying to expand on it. Kirshner hits his first. Colton Rosing has a seat. Aiden Gordon back into the lineup. Oh man, that one halfway down and rolled out, and a foul. Going against Dorian Tate. Off the rebound there on the free throw. And that's his third.
Emphatic call by the official.
He's been very into it. Yeah. Near side, handled Gordon. Kammermeyer hands it off back to Gordon, and now to Betts. Halfway through this third quarter. Chargers lead at 31-28. Spinning through everyone, lost control of the basketball. Still loose. A Globetrotter-esque. Saving that was Dorian Tate. Down to a knee, moved it here to Greer. Greer moves it outside, 3-ball corner pocket. Doesn't fall for Vaughn. Kammermeyer clears away the loose basketball. All the way to the baseline for Talon Kammermeyer, and then he loses control of it. Harrington moved it back outside to Betts, who throws it towards the basket. It doesn't go. Rebound ripped away by Greer. Greer in transition, hands it off Vaughn. Vaughn give him 2.
Surprised he didn't get the and 1 there.
And drew some contact. Gordon through the lane. Foul called against Vaughn. Bucket is good. Do believe maybe that rolled out.
No, it didn't go.
It did not. Vaughn's 3rd foul.
McKinley checks in.
First time tonight we see Robert McKinley.
I think he's a great matchup for this team. You know, he's super quick. And, you know, he plays fast like a lot of this Brentwood team wants to. So I think he's a real nice addition to who's out there right now.
Vaughn will take a seat with 3 fouls. Rocco Colladinato returns as Harrington can't convert at the free throw line. And back come the Chargers. Up the floor, it's Kirshner handing it off McKinley. Robert, stop and pop. Doesn't fall. Rebound out of bounds off of Brentwood. Stays with the Chargers. Saw Aiden Gordon get tied up there with Kirshner. Kind of tripped over him. Colladinato gets it into Greer, and Greer traveled. Nope. Foul. Thought they were going to get him on another travel, but instead, it's a foul going against Carter Betts. His 3rd. Greer with the right hand, good. 35-28 Charger lead. Deep 2 on the way from Betts, doesn't fall, chases down his own rebound. Little crossover move. Good ball movement here by the Spartans, outside Betts.
Betts is playing harder than everybody on OLSH right now.
Near side, baseline shot that doesn't fall there for Harrington. Out of bounds, Charger basketball.
I think that Brentwood needs to get back into running some sets to get these guys outside looks. We have 3 possessions in a row where Harrington's shooting, which I don't think is what they want.
Put back by Colladinato, that doesn't fall. Forrest Betts hands it off Kammermeyer. Through the lane, hands it off Harrington. He doesn't get it to go. Put back and taken away. Kammermeyer had it for a moment, and then it got ripped away by the Chargers. Here's Spatafora on the right hand. Moves it to the corner, then quickly up top to Kirshner, who loses control of it. It's taken away. Kammermeyer with no one in front of him, lays it up and in for 2. Rocco Spatafora was looming there, but easy layup for Kammermeyer. Back to a 5-point game. Greer, McKinley. Kirshner, ball tipped. Loose, chased down by Colladinato. That scored it ahead to Kirshner, who drives and is fouled. 2 shots coming for Bryson. 1:21 to go here in the 3rd.
Now the defense of Brentwood's running currently. Rocco came through that, and we saw him cut down to the left corner. Greer didn't even look that way. He's a right-handed type player, but Rocco was open for a nice look there, and he doesn't get a lot of looks. Teams are so keyed on him, right? Your scouting report tells you he's your shooter.
Right.
So you got to capitalize when he can get a look. It's not happening every time down the floor. Hansen back in the game.
Yes, he is. Playing with 2 fouls. Good. And to your point earlier, probably would have saw more of him had he not gotten those quick 2 fouls there. Kirshner goes 1 for 2 at the line.
Quick hook from McKinley.
Far side Betts, back up top and around the horn. Carter Betts for 3, off the back iron, no good. Rebound loose, taken away by Greer. Darion Greer up the floor, handing it off, and too much on it. Tried to give it to Rocco Coladinato, and whether he wasn't paying attention or was overcooked.
It's just a bad area to try to pass in. I mean, passing from 2-3 feet away with multiple defenders is not going to usually be a recipe for success.
And Zach, you've said it a couple times tonight. The passing, the decision-making on the passes for the Chargers, not crisp and not what we've come to expect. Is this one taken away, but then given right back as Gordon was there, bouncing it out of bounds. Who's it off of? And it's off of Brentwood. Charger basketball.
Might have got away with one there.
Yeah,
hit
I'd agree.
Foot.
Yep.
Yeah, the decision-making in transition has been interesting, to say the least.
So really, in a recap, transition on both ends. It's been the Achilles heel tonight. They have a 6-point advantage. Hanson double-teamed.
Brentwood's really doing a nice job of mixing up the looks they give them. Like, see, we're getting a trap on the side here, which they haven't been doing all game. And doing that late in the game to get that energy out of your guys is usually a big ask, but they're executing it pretty well.
And to be able to do that, now we're in the waning seconds of this third quarter, still getting that energy out of them.
Yeah, it's surprising to see them bring this intensity this late into a game.
Near side, 3 on the way. Coladinato, no, rolls out. Kammermeyer, the board, and a foul off of it.
But, a common thing in high school for coaches, especially defensively, is to try to just throw guys off by giving them different looks every time down the floor. Give them a zone one time, give them a trap one time, give them a soft man one time, hard man one time. So I think Brentwood's doing that too, which, a lot of these players aren't used to seeing. So even if it's things that they're well equipped to handle, when they're seeing it different every time down the floor and having to react and respond, they don't always do a good job of it if they're not used to seeing that.
Makes sense to me. Betts down to the baseline, out, stepped out. Great call by the official.
Interesting decision by them to shoot with 5 seconds left like that. You'd think they'd played a little slower.
On. There's Rocco, 2 seconds, lost control of it, taken away, thrown up at the buzzer, and no more buzzer beaters in it for Brentwood, at least after 3. And after 3 quarters, it is the Spartans leading, or the Chargers leading the Spartans 36-30. You are watching live coverage of Charger basketball, and we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back with the fourth quarter right here on the OLSH Sports Network. Fourth quarter here from Brentwood, 36-30. Chargers the advantage. Alongside Zach Corsi, Matt Fargo with you here tonight on the OLSH Sports Network. Mr. Corsi in the classroom. Zach Corsi here on the broadcast, making his debut tonight.
Glad you invited me, Matt.
Happy to have you. Moon Township's own.
Never left. Well, I left for a little bit, but I'm back.
Back like you never left. Fourth quarter, like we never left, as the OLSH Sports Network brings you doubleheader action. We'll take a look in on the girls' game in a moment. Reverse layup on there with the right hand, put back opportunity. Oof. Boy, there's a lid on there.
Another bad close out there by OLSH.
Chargers couldn't stop the Spartans from getting inside, but the rim did the honors there. It's Batafora, Vaughn. It's the Chargers starting lineup back out there to start the fourth quarter, but an intercepted pass. Palmer comes away with it. Chargers just a 6-point advantage. Off their first loss in section play in over 4 years on Tuesday. Need to make sure that they don't suffer loss number 2 in a row. Jump ball goes to the Chargers here in the 4th.
Could you imagine the last couple of years, OLSH teams scoring 36 points in 3 quarters?
I mean, we made the joke at halftime about the girls scoring 36 points. It's still there. I mean, to
be fair, Brentwood is doing a nice job defensively, so let's give them some credit.
No question. There's a combination there. And what's this call's going against the Chargers? Charge on Kirshner?
Wow. I mean, I thought maybe he called a travel or something.
That's what I was thinking.
I didn't think there was enough contact there for a charge.
No. That's just a second for Bryson. Under 7 to play. Driving, kicking, pulling up. Rosing hits a tray and cuts the Charger lead to 3.
And another run by on a pump fake. Matt, we've been going for it all night. It's a lack of discipline by these players to sit down and just get a good contest on these shots. You're not going to go block a 3-pointer, so why are you running by guys?
Vaughn, he'll try to answer with a 3 of his own. No good, off a few hands. Rebound goes to Kammermeyer. Kammermeyer all the way, blocked by Kirshner. Put back, a nice follow by Palmer. 1-point game. Far side, Tate. Dorian pulls up, splashes in a 2.
That was pretty.
Talking, wanted to see more out of him, and like to see that in the arsenal. Here's a steal by Greer. Greer almost ran into Kammermeyer, lost control of it. Betts comes away with it, bounces to Carter Betts, brother to brother, for the layup for 2. Back to a 1-point game.
It's that first lead of the half, right? No, they're not leading yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. Does feel that way,
Bad
though.
phrase, though.
Yeah. But it does. It feels like all the momentum on the Spartan side of things, even with the Chargers with the lead. Travel. Yep. Tate's going to get called for it. And the Spartans have an opportunity on this trip to take the lead again.
Good look on what we've had this quarter again. What are we seeing? Turnovers in transition offense and layups in transition defense against the Chargers.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark of the ball game. Chargers and Spartans in a close one. Moved it outside, Kammermeyer, and now to Betts. Forrest Betts. Lost control of it, taken away Greer. Vaughn, long pass to Tate. Tate, bucket, and the foul! Dorian Tate, what a shot!
What a tough shot to make. That was impressive.
Another look at that one. Had no, I mean, his head and his eyes had nowhere where that ball was going. That was impressive.
And to get fouled.
Right.
Darion had one like that last week at home.
Yeah. Yep. Here's Dorian Tate. Trying for that 3-point play. 50% free throw shooter missing. And a foul.
Bad foul. But it's good to see him, getting out, being aggressive in the 4th quarter. He had that charge early in the game, which I think slowed him down a little bit. I think that kind of put a damper on what he wanted to do.
That's his 4th foul.
Now, do you leave him in, Matt?
4:48, yeah.
I agree. A lot of coaches like to pull these guys out and let him play the last minute and a half. I think get his minutes in while he can, Tell him to be careful.
Right.
He fouls out, he fouls out.
Right. Yeah, that's that classic living in your fears. Missing front end of a 1-and-1, no good. But they get the rebound and reset. So Chargers trying to lock it down, lead at 40-37. Carter Betts and Spartans. And you have to imagine the way that this game's going and the pace of it with the clock. Now you do kind of want to slow things down and make sure your possessions matter.
Yeah, I don't think you have a choice, although, I mean.
Runner doesn't fall. Kammermeyer, no. Pushed up to Tate. To Vaughn, the hezzy. Then he puts it in for 2.
What you were saying, Matt, the problem with Brentwood slowing the game down right now is they've been really bad from the free throw line.
Yep. 42-37, Chargers, 4 minutes to play in our ball game. Rosen. He'll throw up a 3, no good. Rebound, Rocco. Spatafora up with it. He'll pull it out. Tate.
They're just doubling Bryson.
And for good reason, as it is a steal and a foul on Kirshner.
I mean, they left Dorian undefended with the ball there to double Bryson, and he still went to him.
Hanson in. Tate out.
Who's the foul on?
Kirshner. It was on Kirshner. Which is his 3rd. Good on the first from Talon Kammermeyer, who's had quite the night for the Spartans. Two for 2 at the line. Timeout, Brentwood. Dan Thayer and the Spartans 4-11 coming into today, and are right in the thick of things with the team at the top of the section right now with 3:35 to play.
I'll tell you what, with Brentwood being in the bonus, OLSH being also in the bonus, but that team liking to take charges the way that they do, OLSH got to be careful getting aggressive. They could be giving up the ball and going down the other way for 2 free throws.
No doubt. Looking on the girls' game, Chargers have a 17-point advantage, 47-30 in the 4th. Questioning is, will their output beat our output here?
Likely. Yeah. Both teams are going to want to really hold the ball at this point, I think. You know, it's not going to be up and down the way it has been.
If you're Mike Rodriguez, what are you drawing up right now in these final 3:35 to play?
Well, let's see who he left in the game. So he took Dorian out because they weren't playing defense on Dorian. They're going to double Bryson. I'm going to probably run. They don't really like to do this too much, but I might try to get a double screen up top for Rocco, get him downhill action, and get a pick and roll going. They're playing an aggressive trapping man-to-man, leaving that wide open, and I'd like to see it out of them.
Oh, it starts. He set the ball down and started the clock. Chargers quickly do it.
Oop.
Yeah. Ball and foul.
Yeah. He has a great handle. I wouldn't really go for that steal if I were Brentwood. Deceptive, you know.
Yeah.
He's a forward, but he has great skills.
He's just, even when he was a younger player, he's always just loved the big moment. Misses, though. Put back Kirshner, big 2 for the Chargers.
Bryson bailed him out there.
Big time. 44-39 Charger advantage. Betts. Quick movement here. Kammermeyer. Outside Rosing from the corner, no. Greer a rebound. Let it ahead, Rocco. Spatafora to Bryson. Power dribble, bucket. Good for Bryson. Kirshner, big 4 points in those last 30 seconds.
Huge, huge. You got to be more careful if you're Brentwood. I think they got a little rush on that possession.
Kammermeyer, a floater in the lane, and Chargers let him do it whatever he wanted there.
I think he's been pretty steady. You could tell he's older, right? He plays a little more under control. You could tell he's not afraid right now. He's been doing a nice job.
Rocco driving, moving it to Hanson. Hanson in the lane. Travel is the call.
I don't know that.
No.
I'm not calling
I don't see that.
No.
I don't see that one. Charger faithful not liking that one either.
Yeah, I'm not liking that call. Starting lineup in.
Yep. Palmer also checked in for Brentwood. 2:23 to play. Clock winding here in the fourth. Chargers, 5-point advantage. Kammermeyer drives right side of the lane. Foul is called. 2 shots coming for Kammermeyer. And that's about the last thing you want to do if you're a Charger, is allow them to go to the line here and chip back into this with the clock stop. 2:10 to go now.
Clock stop. He's been good from the line.
Yep.
So yeah, not a good defensive possession there. And Tate's out of the game now.
Yeah.
So Hansen got to sit on the bench for about 45 seconds.
Two shots for the senior talent, Kammermeyer. Misses. You can see how intense Dan Thayer is on this Brentwood bench. He knows how close it is, but 0 for at the line. A little announcer's jinx, your first one ever.
Hey, first one.
And Vaughn on the other end lays it in with the left hand.
When it benefits us, I'm not going to complain.
Amen. 7-point game, 2 minutes to go. 3 on the way, Carter Betts, no. Rebound, and a foul.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It's going to go against Brentwood.
Hansen with a big moment here.
Yep, Forrest Betts gets charged for the foul. Both teams in the bonus for the rest of this one. 1:50 to play here in the fourth. Yeah, and you mentioned it, big time opportunity for the senior Austin Hansen, multi-sport athlete. Coach him in baseball.
Yeah, he was captain of the baseball team last year.
Misses the front end. Rebound pulled down by Betts.
He's a co-captain, to be clear.
Yes. Palmer. Guarded by Hansen. Palmer double teamed. Got it to get it away. He does the Kammermeyer. Around the horn here. 3 Forrest Betts. No. Rebound. Got his own rebound. Runs the baseline. Put back is good by Betts. Timeout Brentwood.
Where are we at on the closeout, Matt?
Yeah.
We got players out of bounds, overrunning 3-point shooters, so they get their own rebound.
More worried about defending the shot and less about closing out and protecting from the rebound.
Because you're not going to block the shot. You know, a lot of these high school athletes want to think they're Zion Williamson. And there's only one of him, Matt.
Yeah, there is. And, like, how frustrating is that? Because, I mean, obviously you've coached basketball, coached baseball, as we just mentioned. It's like, you know, putting that into words that kids are going to understand about trying to do the little things, but not necessarily doing what you see on TV.
Yeah, that is a huge challenge, right? Like, we all want to be LeBron James, but he can do things that no other human can do.
Right.
Right, so we have to sort of play in a different style, a different manner. And really, it comes down to a lot of discipline, especially at this level.
48-43, Chargers lead, 1:20 to play. Rocco Spadafora bouncing it. Crossing it over there to Vaughn, and now back to Rocco. 1:10 to play. Almost lost it. Was able to get it back to Kirshner. Hands it off to Greer. Up strong, right-handed, lay it up and score. Chargers with 1 minute to play. Ball knocked out of bounds. Charger basketball.
Surprised I didn't call foul there.
Yeah, I agree, because Shane Palmer ended up on his wallet.
No, this is a challenge. This is a very challenging position for him to be in. This is such a hard thing to practice, right, for Brentwood, getting this multiplayer trap in at the end of a game, because you can't simulate it that well.
Yeah. Ball tipped into the air, taken away, and a foul called. Shane Palmer does it all on his own, and Going to go down the other end and shoot some free throws with 45 seconds to go. Last thing again, you want if you are wearing purple and gold tonight.
Yeah, they need to stop doing stuff like that, especially the whole way down the other end of the floor. You know, if you foul down here on a shot, that's one thing. You can't foul on the other end of the floor.
Yeah, prevent a shot, whatever. Yeah, make them earn it at the line, of course. There's the junior, Shane Palmer. Misses the first, and Brentwood not aware that it's double bonus time because Carter Betts went up and in there.
Maybe just want to get a practice in.
I respect it. Rolls in the second.
Yeah, I mean, what I was saying though, like, because you're asking your JV really in practice, right, to simulate this press break, and they're just not going to do a job of a Rocco Spatafora, right? So you'll see, you get three guys trapping all over the floor here.
Racing for two there.
And they just give up layups. This happens all the time.
Yep. Quickly a three from Rosing. Good. Timeout, Brentwood.
Tough shot.
Tough shot from the sophomore, and he's drained another one. The Spartans not going away quietly tonight.
Hey, you gotta respect.
My goodness, this has been fantastic from Dan
They played this hard this long, yeah. He's into it, man. And what a tough shot to make. I mean, because he knew he had to get it off because guys were running at him. He really started to go up with that shot before he even acquired the hoop. His head was still kind of looking to the right when he went up. I mean, he only had a split second really to lock in on the hoop, really to put that ball in.
So 52-47, Charger advantage, 28 seconds to play. I mean, even if the Chargers survive here, boy, it puts the rest of the section on notice that Brentwood, the second time through, might not be as easy of an out.
Absolutely. I think they're playing a different style, right? They're playing faster than they used to play. I think, before they were trying to work the ball inside a little bit the first time we saw them. So this new style seems to be better suited to their personnel.
You were wondering their only section win of the season is a 10-point win over Stowe Rocks. Spatafora, and there's an injured player. Brentwood, Forrest Betts, who's played phenomenal tonight.
He's had a great game.
Gets up Gimpy.
Hopefully it's not a long-term injury.
Grabbing that right ankle.
So Greg's in case they want to foul him.
Long pass, Greer, open look. Bucket is good for Darion Greer. 15 seconds. Brentwood throws it out of bounds. And with 11 seconds to go, Chargers starting to feel like they're going to escape here.
Rosing wanted that same look he just had. He was open again in the same spot. He was frustrated and get the ball.
Vaughn, long pass to Greer, who is fouled.
Showing his wide receiver skills.
Yes, it was. Looked like a little bit of a Hail Mary there.
He was what? Was he all section of wide receiver this year?
And just so talented. I mean, such an athletic player that, there's so much more there. You could tell that there's a lot of skill that he shows, but there's even more that he has the potential to get to.
Yeah, he has. I mean, just a perfect body and skill set for football.
Yeah.
So strong. He's quick. He's tough. He's the right mindset.
2 for 2 at the line for Darion Greer. Rosing launch a three, almost hit it and rolls out. And the OLSH Chargers escape tonight over Brentwood, 56-47.
It feels like an escape.
It does. It 100% feels that way as the Chargers get it done and win the first of the second round of section play over Brentwood. But Yeah, I think if you're a Chargers fan, you're leaving here, and it's a big sigh of relief, and it's probably the same going into the locker room because, I don't know that this locker room is going to feel like a jubilant, victorious locker room that the Chargers have come to know. And I think this is going to feel a lot more like a loss in that locker room today, even though that they were able to execute and get it done at the end of the day. I think there's so much on the table that needs sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, you take the wins and you can get them, right? No doubt about that. So coaches are probably at least relieved. I don't know, happy, but at least relieved. But the big issue, I think, and the concern for them is going forward now, you alluded to this earlier, you have another game on tape with a great game plan against them. You play more fast players, like more quick players, double the post, right? Let a couple of our guys get a little more space outside and make them make plays. And, for a lot of game night, they weren't willing to do that.
Chargers moving down to 6-1 in the conference, alone at the top of Section 3, and a lot more to come because you alluded to what may be coming down the road as far as, a lot of big games, but a lot of them being on the road. We still have to go at Seton, at Steel Valley, still on the ledger, and those are going to be tough games no matter what. And certainly if you play like you did tonight, anybody's going to be able to keep it at least close, and who knows what happens down the stretch.
Yeah, Steel Valley was a close game at home,
right?
And that's going to be a tough road environment for our team, right? And they traveled well. They had a lot of fans there, so it's going to be a tough place to go into for our team, no doubt about that. And I heard that the one player from Seton was playing injured, and we played them at home. So if he's getting a little better by the time we go down there, that could be a game too.
The Chargers' next game is Tuesday. That game is home against Stowe Rocks. I believe if I read that correctly. No, I beg your pardon. The next game for Brentwood is away at Stowe Rocks. They're on the road against Stowe Rocks on Tuesday for the Spartans, so they're going to try to at least get a win over the Vikings, who they beat earlier this year. For the Chargers, who I mentioned now 6-1 in the section, their next game will be not until Friday at home against Stowe Rocks. So a little bit of a break here for the Chargers, and I think probably a much-needed break. As now you're coming down on the downslope of the regular season, middle of January, headed towards the end, and guys have to be tired at this point, and maybe it's going to be nice they're going to have a couple days off.
It'll be a good thing for them. The other big positive from tonight, though, I think, is that we saw a lot of guys play good minutes off the bench for them, which early in the season we weren't seeing a lot of these guys get time, right? So them having more practice time with a little more confidence, knowing they got some experience and some game time. You see players make a big jump after they get a couple varsity games, couple minutes, especially in a closer game like this. It's not garbage time. So I wouldn't be surprised if, they can take this, turn it into a positive down the road, and, come back Friday and look good.
56-47, the final score. The Chargers get it done over the Brentwood Spartans tonight, and then we'll have one more look in on the girls, who I would assume handled business tonight over Winchester Thurston. And they're up 62-41 in the fourth quarter. So just a few minutes remaining in that one. So maybe switch on over to hear the final call between Al and Christian over there.
Sure, they're having a good time.
No doubt. Our next broadcast, we're going to go back to Keystone Oaks on Thursday for the girls' version of Keystone Oaks and Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. We'll have the call for you, Al and I, from Green Tree. Looking forward to bringing you that one. But, yeah, a nice little break for the network, because won't talk to you in about a week, for about a week until Thursday, and then we'll be back on the air. And then we'll have the game for you on Friday as well. The next time we'll talk to you for the boys Friday night, as the Vikings of Stowe Rocks come to town to take on the Chargers, and we'll have that one for you back here on the network. Zach, thanks so much for jumping on. First one's always the toughest, and you flying colors.
Oh, thank you, Matt. It was a great time. I'm glad you had me. And I'll see you Friday, just in a different capacity.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Keeping us safe. The Wood Sports Network. Thanks to Matt Stanziola in the truck, all the men and women in the truck working hard tonight. getting this done and bringing this one to you from our corner here. And thanks to the great people of Brentwood for helping us get connected and set up and doing all the great things that they did. We appreciate their hospitality. For Zach Corsi, Matt Stanziola, all of us here on the OLSH Sports Network. Final score again, 56-47. Chargers get it done over the Spartans. Until next time, I'm Matt Fargo saying thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time right back here on the OLSH Sports Network. Good night, everybody, from Brentwood.